Hi, this is Mrs. Flores, your 5th grade teacher at Highlands Elementary, and we were out of school on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, and this is a book that is very beloved to me. I did meet the author. It's signed to me for Mrs. Flores' class, and I wanted to read you this nonfiction, this true story about Dear Mr. Leprechaun. All of the letters you see in here are real letters that were actually written. Dear Mr. Leprechaun, letters from my first friendship. To Mrs. Flores' class, writing you for good luck and true friendship forever, by Martin Nelson Burton. The first friend I ever had was a leprechaun. We used to write to each other. I would leave notes for him at bedtime. Dear Mr. Leprechaun, what do you look like? Draw it on the back. Thank you, and 'tis the best of the year. Good luck, Martin. He would write back to me while I slept, and in the morning I would find his answer. Oh, I think this is how I look, Marty. Thank you for the good luck wish. 'Tis good luck I'll be wishing to you forever and ever. Be good, Master Marty, Mr. L. Like most leprechauns, mine was full of mischief. Dear Martin, it has been a busy life for me, and I travel around a lot, jumping here and there, tricking people and trying not to get caught, and protecting my pot of gold. But he was nice to me. Sometimes he would fix my broken toys or untangle the strings of my marionette. Whenever I asked for some real leprechaun magic, though, he would always find some reason not to do it. Dear Mr. Leprechaun, I forgot how to write it. Could you please make this boat life-size with a steering wheel and a motor? If you want a reward, tell me before making it. Write everything you need right there. We want it out in the front yard. Good luck, Martin. Dear Martin, I am sorry to disappoint you, but I am very, very weary from not eating too much because of the hot weather. So you see, my magic powers are not strong enough to make this boat life-size. I promise as soon as the weather gets cooler that I will eat again and get my power back. Good luck to you, the leprechaun. Well, I was also nice to him. If Mr. Leprechaun told me he was not feeling well, I would make his favorite dandelion tea. Dear Mr. Leprechaun, this is for you to drink. Will you please try your best to get well? It makes me so sad to see you without your powers. Do not write a note back. Just rest. Martin. Well, Mr. Leprechaun loved to boast about how he could snap his fingers, disappear from wherever he was, and suddenly reappear wherever he wanted to be. I could never get him to tell me how he did this, though I asked him over and over. Martin, are you trying to trick me again? If you want me to tell you about my secret about how I make myself vanish, well, I cannot do that, for you would probably hold my fingers so I could not snap them. Well, Mr. Leprechaun could sometimes be such a frustrating little fellow. Well, more than anything, I wanted to see for myself. During the summer, my dad and I would begin to sit outside in the evenings and look for leprechauns in the trees. My mom brought home books about the little people and read me stories from Ireland about their pranks. But unlike the leprechauns I would read about, mine never showed himself. He'd tell me that he couldn't play on my baseball team because he had to go back to Ireland to pick potatoes, or that he couldn't take me to leprechaun land because I might steal his pot of gold, or that he couldn't make me a treehouse because he had to get ready for a big St. Patrick's Day party. Well, finally I told him I'd be happy with just a photograph of himself and a trip to Ireland. Still, I kept on writing to him, even after I learned cursive. Dear Mr. L, how do you like our bedroom? I think it's great. My father is going to buy shelves for our bedroom. Don't you wish you were as lucky as us? By the way, are you a man or a boy? By the other way, did you find my grandpa and me a way to get to Ireland? Next summer, of course. I still love you very much. I'll try to do my best in everything, but I need a little luck from you. Bye, Martin Burton. Dear Martin, yes, I like your bedroom very much. You and your brother, what's his name, are very lucky. Yes, I am a man, not a very large man, but a man nevertheless. Yes, I have just about made the arrangements for you and your grandpa to come over to Ireland one of these summers. Soon. I love you and your family very much too. Martin, I will give you all the luck you need forever and ever. Love you always, Mr. L. At times, however, he would beg me not to leave any more messages. I do not like you to write so many notes when I am so very busy, because it takes so much time to answer this, and this pencil is so big and I'm so little, it wears me out. Even my own father, for some reason, became weary of all my letter writing. Mr. L., my father said don't write a note tonight. I don't know, I don't have time to bother with you. I was wondering what that meant. Well, anyway, I wanted to do something for you. What could I do? I want to help you. Could I? And if I could, what could I do? Sincerely yours, Marty. Dear Marty, your father loves you very much. He did not mean I don't have time for you. He means he does not have time to help me, Mr. L. Well, there is nothing that I need right now, but I will write later and tell you. Bye, Mr. L. As I grew older, I slowly began to write Mr. Leprechaun less and less. Over the years, as it happens from time to time, even to the best of friends, I gradually lost touch with Mr. Leprechaun. I never did go to Ireland. I never did see Mr. Leprechaun's photograph, and I never did actually find a leprechaun in the trees. But one thing I will always remember, no matter how busy or tired or weak Mr. Leprechaun might have been, no matter how heavy the pencil or how impossible my requests, still he managed to reply to every single note I ever wrote. Though I stopped writing him a long time ago, I somehow feel like he never left me. Even now, when I am big, I am sure he is somewhere close by. Wherever he is, I love him still with all my heart. And if ever I do catch that leprechaun, I'm going to grab his fingers and hold them tight so he cannot snap them. And we'll sit down together, sip on dandelion tea, and talk about the good old days until the sun comes up in the morning. A true story. If my father hadn't carefully rescued each note that Mr. Leprechaun and I so casually exchanged from my first writing at age 5 to our last letters after I had turned 11, our remarkable correspondence would surely have been lost for all time. But instead, the entire collection came to rest safely within his bedroom dresser drawer. When he finally decided to return the notes to me, I was 3 decades older. And that's Dear Mr. Leprechaun.